Do you frequently sense weary, brief of breathing, or can you sense you cardiac beaten off within yours trunk? Include yours friends annotated how you see extraordinarily turn pale? If so, you may include ferrous deficiency anemia, the planet's largest overall dietary disturbance. In the UK, it is especially overall amongst youthful female. I newly offered to a boyfriend in these symptoms how she might wish to get herself verified out by her GP. A bloodstream testing show she was so weak it was remarkable she could yet go upper floor. A few ferrous tablets graded her of. He's cost addition how you should say to yours GP if thou re-examining take them, you might not requirement them and your symptoms could be inflicted by thing else. Our bodies can't make ferrous, so you include to get it in yours dietary, if via foods how natural include it or such how include been fastened in ferrous, such as white's loaf and lunch grass. The issue is how not all of how ferrous is in a shape you can in fact consume. How to get the largest ferrous of yours meal red flesh is especially wealthy in the kind of ferrous bodies discover lightweight to consume but these days lot human beings are each cut behind on their scarlet meat intake or cut it out generally. And down there are nice source of ferrous in black green sheet vegetable culture, such as cabbage and spinach, and pulses, such as green pea and lentils. The issue is you don't consume as lot ferrous of factory source as you do of red flesh. Later, down there is the ferrous you can get of fastened loaf and lunch cereal grains, although once again it is not ever in a really resolving shape. To show a tidy side stunt is to mill up the grass, add several hot water supply and you can in fact use a magnetically to paint the ferrous filings out of the porridge. How you get ready yours meal and which you sip in it can as well changing how lot ferrous you consume. To show Professor Abrupt transferred out several experiments to imitate humane digestive. The tests mimicked the impact of the enzymes implicated in digesting meal and the chemistry response how occurs in humane gut cells to show how lot ferrous would be engrossed. Professor Abrupt showed how if you sip orange sap in yours fastened lunch grass you consume lot more than ferrous rather than while consuming the grass on its own, since orange sap contains vitamin C, that makes it facilitating to consume ferrous of meal. Yet, depressingly, if you sip coffee in yours night cup of grass, later how will indicate you consume considerably less than ferrous. Reason. So, on to Professor Abrupt. Since coffee is complete of chemical substances named polyphenols how are really effective at mandatory to the ferrous and manufacturing how ferrous less than instant. So, if a fastened grass is yours lunch of selection, later possessing a little window of orange sap or an orange will assist growth yours ferrous understanding. You might as well wish to believe postponing yours night coffee before at low 30 protocol following thou ve corroded. But which if you choose receive yours ferrous of more than nature source. Raw white cabbage is a nice resource of accessible ferrous but we found how steam it lessened the sum of accessible ferrous time simmering diminished it though future. How since, love oranges, white cabbage is wealthy in vitamin C, and while you simmer it, the vitamin C is liberated in the kitchen water supply. So, if you wish to get the maximal nutritional of yours white cabbage, eat it raw, unpurchased flavor, or vapor it. The identical is real of some veggies how include both of ferrous and vitamin C, such as cabbage, broccoli, cabbage and watercress. Yet, oddly quite, spinach is fully various. We found how while we cooked the spinach, it in fact liberated 55% more than bioavailable ferrous rather than while corroded unprocessed. Professor Abrupt says, spinach has constituent named oxalates and they mainly pitfall the ferrous while we prepare spinach, the oxalic acid is liberated in the kitchen water supply, and thus the ferrous how remnant will be more than accessible for uptake. Eventually, which on the loaf? We found the top loaf for supplying ferrous was leaven loaf. How since grain contains a chemistry named phytic acidity how slows downward ferrous uptake by the flesh. While leaven loaf is done, the ferment trial crushed downward the phytic acidity so the ferrous how remnant is more than accessible for uptake.